That night, when the moon was red like fire, our village was silent. Even the drums did not sound. The air was heavy. Even the dogs refused to bark, and the crickets were quiet as if they too were afraid. Everyone knew something was wrong. The princess was dying. Her skin had lost its glow, her breath came in short gasps, and nothing the healers tried was working. The whole village gathered in the square, waiting for the elders to speak. Then the chief priest lifted his staff and told us about the egg of life. He said, "It is the only thing that can save her. It lies deep inside the evil forest, hidden in an ancient cave. But be warned, the forest does not welcome visitors, and the egg is guarded. I am Ebuka, and I was chosen with 4 other youths to find it." My stomach tightened when I heard my name. I wanted to be brave, but inside me, fear was already growing. Still, I could not refuse. To say no was to shame my family. Before we left, the chief called us closer. His voice was low, but every word cut deep. "Do not look back in the forest. Do not answer any voice that calls you. And if you find the cave, take the egg and run. Do not waste time." We left before dawn, carrying only torches, small gourds of water, and sharp cutlasses. The path to the forest was narrow and overgrown, as if nature itself wanted to block our way. When we reached the edge, the trees stood tall and twisted, their branches crossing like arms. The forest was thick, dark, and smelled of death. My heart beat fast, but I tried not to show fear. As we entered, the air changed. It was colder inside, and shadows moved even when nothing was there. Strange cries echoed between the trees, sometimes like a baby crying, sometimes like an old woman calling for help. My friend Ifani whispered, "Do you hear that?" But none of us answered. We remembered the warning. The deeper we went, the more the forest tried to break us. We saw skulls hanging from trees, old footprints that stopped suddenly, and once, we heard heavy footsteps following us. Each time, we walked faster, not daring to look back. Hours later, after cutting through vines and crossing a stream that looked black under the shadows, we saw it, the cave. It was larger than any hut in our village, its entrance wide like the open mouth of a giant ready to swallow us whole. Cold air blew from inside, and it carried a smell of wet stone and something rotten. We stepped in carefully. The ground was slippery, and the sound of dripping water echoed from the walls. At the center of the cave stood a stone table, and on it sat a small white egg. It glowed softly, like it had its own moonlight trapped inside. That was it, the egg of life. But nothing in the forest comes easy. Just as Chike, the strongest among us, took one step forward, the ground shook. Dust fell from the roof of the cave, and the shadows thickened. From the darkness, a tall figure appeared. Its eyes burned red, its body covered in ash, and its breath came out like smoke. When it spoke, its voice was deep like thunder rolling over hills. "Leave the egg, or stay forever." We froze. My throat went dry, and my legs felt heavy. Chike clenched his fists, ready to fight, but the thing in front of us was not a man. Its arms were too long, its head touched the roof of the cave, and when it moved, it made no sound. Chike wanted to charge forward, but I grabbed his arm and pulled him back. My voice shook as I whispered, "We cannot fight it. We must trick it." The spirit moved closer, its eyes fixed on us. The air grew hotter, like fire was building in the cave. My hands trembled, but I forced myself to bend down, pick up a small stone, and throw it deep into the cave. The sound echoed loudly. The spirit's head turned for just a moment. That was our chance. My legs moved before my mind caught up. I ran to the stone table, snatched the glowing egg, and shouted, "Run!" We ran, our footsteps pounding against the cave floor. Behind us came a roar so loud the walls seemed to shake. The spirit followed, its shadow stretching long across the rocks. Out in the forest, branches whipped our faces, roots twisted around our legs as if trying to pull us down. The spirit's voice filled the trees, calling each of us by name, begging us to look back. But we remembered the chief's warning. We kept our eyes forward. Once, Ifani stumbled and almost fell. The voice called his name sweetly, like his mother. He almost turned, but Chuck dragged him forward. We did not stop. At last, after what felt like forever, we saw the edge of the forest. The first light of the sun was breaking over the trees. My chest burned, my legs felt like fire, but I kept running. The moment our feet touched the open ground of the village path, the spirit's voice stopped. Just like that. Silence. Only the sound of our heavy breathing remained. When we brought the egg to the chief priest, he lifted it with both hands and placed it into a bowl of water. The egg dissolved like salt, and the water shone brightly. The priest gave it to the princess to drink. Slowly, her breathing grew steady. Her eyes opened, and her voice returned. Life had returned to her body. The whole village shouted for joy. Drums beat, mothers wept, and children danced. We had done it. But even now, many seasons later, I still cannot sleep in peace. When the night is very dark, and the wind passes through the trees, I hear that same deep voice calling my name. And I know, the forest never forgets.